Okay, let's start by looking at these clock assignments from you guys. Starting with this one. Looking good. I gotta go back, see who turned this one in. I think, oh yeah, this is Masato, right? Um, Looks pretty good. How'd you do this part? Is that just is that just a picture like you threw in there? Or is that using 3D effects somehow? Really? How'd you get it to look like that? Is it a 3D revolve with a texture applied to it? That's kind of what it looks like. Anyways, very nice. Seiko. Why do I have this open? Okay, let's look at the next one. Nice job. This one is uh this is Emilio. Looks like a link is missing, so something might show up with lower resolution or not at all. Yeah, I think you had like a picture here, right? Sure. I thought I saw it though when I looked at it on. Never mind, I didn't see it. Oh, no, I could see it here. Look, when I look at it on Google Classroom, it shows. Not sure why it shows here, but not there. But that's cool. So, yeah. So you inserted it into an image, and it looks pretty real. So, nice job. Can I zoom in on it? Yeah. Nice job. And I see you're keeping it consistent with the format that you submit your assignments. Very detailed. And here, well, since you sent me the thing here, let me download this, and then I'll replace it so it shows up. Go to my downloads. There it is. Yeah, I want to look at this one more time because you did a really nice job with the shiny look on the bells. So pretty much you did a bunch of blends on this, right? Double click on it. A lot of layers. Yeah, so you drew the shapes and then use the blend effect. Very close attention to detail. Came out really nice. Pretty cool. Like the more I look at it, the more like little details I notice. You even got the little shadows on the numbers. Very cool. This one is Nanako. She's morning student. And we got, this is step one, two, three. This is um I don't know if she got the idea for doing the steps from yesterday's lesson with the cat I was drawing, but yeah, it shows how she gradually added details. Like started with the um, basic shape first, added some gradients. What did she add to this one? I guess additional gradients. I don't know what added to. Can't tell what changed from step two to three. Let's see. Can anyone spot the difference? Then I gotta show both of them next to each other to be able to see the difference. But I'm not seeing it. It looks the same. Yeah, I don't see the difference. Anyways, step four is now rotated a little bit so it's in 3D. She also used the revolve to create the bells. And then final submission. Early to bed, early to rise. That's the opposite of me. And nice job. So let's look at this one. This is Ian. Okay, Ian. Well, obviously a little more simple than the ones we've seen, but it's, um, it's a more simple aesthetic. Right? You did it on purpose, like Apple. Let's look at the next one. This one, yeah, simple is good. And this one is, whose is this one? I think Masaki. Um, Good idea using that part as a pattern. Yeah, very cool. I'm guessing you use the pattern tool, right? Or in Illustrator, the what is it? Object pattern make. Looks good. And this one looks neat, very clean. Who did this one? I think this is Sangwa, right? This is yours. Very clean and very nice color choice. All these colors go really well together. So definitely done from a graphic designer point of view. Very good. This one is Hero. And what does that say? Oh, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the numbers in the back. Got some shadows. We applied the envelope distort on the background elements, not so much on the foreground. But we've got um, detailed clock in different colors and nice presentation. These shadows look like he used the blur effect as well. And this one is well, says right here, Saida. Um, I see what you did here. So it's like it's a, what do you call it? A night clock. So it has the green light inside of it. That's why you can see it kind of glowing on the inside of the bells. I wonder where you got the idea. I probably have one, something like that, huh? I got one of these alarm clocks just because they're louder than my phone, but I haven't seen any with the green night vision light in them. That would be a cool product to buy. And I think that's it. You have one? Is it like with the bells, or did you just add it to the bells? I like the old school alarm clock style. I see. Anyways, nice job, everyone. Again, if you haven't turned it in yet, you can still turn it in, and we'll look at it when we get the chance. Just remind me if you want me to look at it. So I'm sure by now you've seen your latest assignment, which is basically what I did yesterday. How do I look at the, okay. So create at least 6 artboards. Draw a simple character with basic shapes, no color in the first artboard, and make little changes in the next artboards until you have a final refined character. Okay. Let me bring this back here. So just like what I did here, and honestly, like when I started with this, I didn't know it's gonna like end up looking pretty good. So you'll be surprised by how nice it'll end up looking if you just, start simple and make small little changes, and then continue to refine it until you have something that looks cool. That was the sign out code yesterday. Let's delete that. um, so any questions on this assignment or any questions in general? That should be due next week. Um, I kind of want to give you guys extra time to work on this one just because I feel like it's a little more work than the pencil and the clock too, maybe. Actually, the clock was pretty, um, there's a lot of work to do with the clock, but this one might, I don't know. I feel like I should give you a little extra time. So, like, I've given you, what, 5 assignments so far, one for each day. I'm trying to avoid giving you a new assignment today, but I might just give you something simple, or I'll just give you like extra time to submit it. Okay. Well, the thing is, I'm gonna cover something today. Every time I cover a new topic, um, I just have to assign something covering that topic, or whatever that topic covered. Today we're gonna do. I want to go for like simple circle design. What you can do with a circle and the golden ratio. So probably do a logo or something. But before we do that, um, I didn't save the South Park character, did I? I did not. That's too bad. Um, well, I'll do it again, but let's do a little bit of practice before we start the lecture. I want to practice another character. and I'm thinking we did South Park yesterday, which is pretty simple. We can and I didn't see any examples from you guys, so I'm thinking maybe I'll do it again today, and then let's see if we could customize it, like create our own South Park character just by giving it a different color outfit or hat or something. Or we can practice another like easy thing like Mickey Mouse maybe. Yeah, let's do Mickey Mouse because he has a lot of circles in his head. Just find a good picture. Mickey Mouse is not hard. Mm, I'm just gonna grab this one just because I could see like the whole thing, but this one's kind of in a different perspective, so it's not as simple. But let me just keep that over there on the side, and see if I can find another one that's more easy to draw. Maybe this one. Yeah, this one looks good. But let me also get one with just a head. Do I have to type Mickey head? Oh, this is a more vintage Mickey Mouse. Not exactly the same as this one. Obviously slightly different. Let's grab. It's really hard to find a basic image of Mickey's head. Like in here's let's take this one. Okay, so this is kind of relevant to the topic we're gonna cover today, which is doing things with circles. So it makes sense to do this Mickey Mouse head. Let's start with which one looks like the easiest to draw. Probably this one. And we've got a bunch of circles. They're not perfect circles, but I remember I thought they used like a quarter and dimes or something to come up with the proportions for his head. Mickey head, coins, coin size. I remember seeing something about like they when they drew Mickey Mouse, they used coins to figure out how big to make the ears compared to the head. But I don't know if that was true or not. It was a long time ago, so I don't know if that's really how they did it. If they did do that, then you'd expect perfect circles. Anyways, I don't think that's okay. We'll forget about the coin thing. So I'll just draw this. using some ellipses. I'll do one on the side without tracing over it first, and I will trace over it. So the one that I'm not gonna trace, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, just so I could use like more basic shapes. So we got our ear circles and then the main head circle. So how big should this be compared to the ears? That's what I want to figure out. Now, one of the topics I was going to cover today is the golden ratio. Um, this could be in the golden ratio. I don't know if it really is. But what I mean by golden ratio is just the Fibonacci sequence. Again, I don't know how important the Fibonacci thing is, but a lot of designers use it. A lot of big companies use it. Leonardo da Vinci, I think, used it. So maybe it's worth using, right? So let's learn how to use it. Basically, Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers starting from 1, where the next number is the previous two numbers added together. So it's 1, 2, and then 2 plus 1 is 3, and then 3 plus 2 is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 8, and then 5 plus 8, so 13. So that's why you can see here in this image here, start with 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. So when you end up adding the previous two numbers together, you get this proportion going. And if you drew a line from these together, you would create this spiral. That's why this is called the golden spiral, because of how much it expands. And it's also seen in nature. So that same spiral with the two numbers added together to get the next number, you see it in nature. So it's something special about that ratio. So some artists and designers figured if they use those proportions in their artwork or their designs, then their designs will look nicer somehow. So if we're gonna do these using the golden ratio, then maybe I'll draw one circle with a, let's say, width and a height of, let's just do 30. That'll be the smaller one. So think of that as the number 3 in the sequence. So the next bigger one would have to be 50, right? Because it's 3 and then 5 and then 8. And also, they're not always exactly the same ratio. Like if you do 5 divided by 3, you get 1.667. But if you do 8 divided by 5, 1.6. So it's not always exactly the same number. And what's after that? It's 13 is the next number. 13 divided by the previous number, 8. 1.625. So I think the higher you go, the more closer it's supposed to get to the golden ratio, which is let's go to Wikipedia. 1.618. So again, 5 divided by 3, 1.67. Not exactly 1.618. But then you do 8 divided by 5, now it's 1.6. 13 divided by 8, 1.625. So it gets closer and closer to 1.618, which is the golden ratio. So basically, you could also, instead of doing 30 and then 50, I could just draw a circle any size. And then I can select it and go to Object, Transform, Scale. And instead of 100%, I can make it 161.8%. And then click copy. So that's more in the golden ratio because I actually used 1.618 or 161.8% to make that much bigger. So anyways, those would be the two sizes if you wanted to use the golden ratio to draw Mickey's head. You'd have to make the ears that size compared to the head. Now I don't think Disney did that. I mean, it looks like they could have. I mean, it's pretty close. Actually, looks like they did do that. It is the same proportion. So even Mickey's head uses the golden ratio. I didn't realize. But I mean, if you look at that and you look at this, it's pretty close to the same ratio, right? I think this head would be a little bit smaller here. But yeah, it is. It's about the same proportions. So yeah, we could put that. I mean, put this on the side. So again, I'm gonna draw just using some basic circles. See how far we get. Circles, and I guess I'll have to use ellipses for some of these other parts. I'll just take this, make it white. Make sure it's on top of this one so I can see it. And we'll need to squish it a little bit. I think maybe pull it out a little bit. Let me group these together. So I just pressed Control G or Object Group, just so I could select that and then Shift select the head. Click the head one more time with the mouse and then click Horizontal Align Center to align these to the head. Maybe bring it in, or no, pull it up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's about the right size. And then we need these parts, so I'll just copy this over here and ungroup it. Let's put one, rotate 45 degrees this way. Well, I don't know if it's, I think 45 degrees is too much. Maybe a little bit less, like a little bit like this. And then go like that. Let's give this one a black outline. And we need the same on the other side, so I'll just reflect it over the center. Take these two, combine them with the shape builder. Also combine them with these two. Combine it with that part as well. And then do we have this here still? Yeah, I'll take that leftover oval over there and use that for the bottom part of the mouth. So select that, do that. Now for the mouth, I think I'll take this circle. Let's get rid of the fill, place it with the stroke. So the size of the mouth part, this part, it's not quite golden ratio, so make that bigger. that will have to, I guess, something like that. Yeah, so let's delete the top half of that. Also delete a little bit more than just the top half, so just draw a line about like here, and use the shape builder to cut off from that point. And delete that top line. We don't need it. And let's get rid of the fill on that. We just need a line here. And it's a little too big, so I'll scale it down slightly. Scale it down a little bit more. And need another circle for the bottom of the mouth. So at this point, it's no longer like just a perfect oval, so I'm just gonna modify it by pulling this down a little bit. And what else? Let's select these two, and actually this one too. I'm just gonna modify it slightly, just gonna pull it up a little. And then select these two, and so with these, oh, not those, with this one and this one selected, use the shape builder to delete that top part. And we need these little parts here, so I'll use, I guess might as well use the arc tool right there. I don't like using the arc tool because I really don't get how to use it. It's too much trouble. And for the tongue, couple of circles that overlap. Oops. Because I'm on top of this. Let me lock this. Object lock selection. So here, I think I'll use the shape builder to. We need to draw one more line through. Actually, no. How do we do this? Let's use the shape builder just to delete this inner one first. I mean, this line right here. So Alt click on it, and we want this line to end somewhere here. So select all these and Alt click this part and delete this. Alright, so there's that tongue part that we need, and then I'll put that right there. Select all of that, delete that part. Now we have the mouth, and then we can put that back where it belongs. And if you want, you could, with the shape builder, you can click inside a shape to like make that shape solid. I don't know if I needed to for this one though. Yeah, I kind of do. So with this and the tongue selected, because I want this to be black, I could either use the shape builder and then click on it to solidify it, and then select that and fill it with black. But there's also another tool under the shape builder. It's the live paint bucket tool. With the live paint bucket, you can fill in areas that intersect. So closed shapes basically. I could use the live paint bucket to click here, fill that with black. Even though it wasn't a separate shape at that point. It was, again, it was, this was its own shape, and this was just some lines here, but I couldn't fill just the top with black, right? So with the shape builder, you can. I mean, with the shape builder, or easier with the live paint bucket, just click inside it with your chosen fill color. Um, and of course we got the nose. I'll just draw a nose right here. And then we've got the eyes. Actually, yeah, I'll just do the eyes like this. A little bit smaller, just get rid of the fill. Slightly rotated this. Was a little too much. And then take these same circles, copy them, make them smaller, fill them with black. And then yeah, one goes here, one goes here, maybe a little bit wider. A little bit wider. That. More to this side. This one more this way. I think I rotated it too much here. Um, and then this little part here, which I guess I could just take this, make it a little bit bigger. Should be pretty level with like the cheeks. I think it's in a good spot. And then let's take this and go like that. And then select the eyes. The eyes and the circle right there. Let's do it here so you can see better. Use the shape builder to delete. Actually, just delete. Um, I'm just gonna click on it. I'm not gonna shift click. I'm not alt clicking. I'm just regular clicking to get rid of all that inside part. And I guess I'll just grab this with the direct select and delete it. And maybe draw another line right here, just so I could delete a little bit more with the shape builder. Put that back here. And I think we're done without tracing it exactly. So I'm gonna give you guys some time to do that, And again, if you can finish it in like 10 or 15 minutes, we can look at them. If not, then I'll just have to move on or continue the lecture. But let this be your first practice today. So let me give you 10 minutes and let me know if you have questions. I will pause the recording. I don't know. Okay, so let me, while you guys are still drawing, since I have so many different Mickeys here, I'm just gonna draw this, the next simple one. You guys can continue trying to do this one. So, yeah, you don't have to watch me do this one again. It's pretty much the same thing, but I'll just do this, just to go over the same steps again in case anyone wants to see it again. Let me unlock this one and bring this one here. So I'll draw a circle. Let's make it 200 by 200. Actually, it should be a little bit bigger than that to make it the same size as this one. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the golden ratio. I'll take this circle. I need two smaller circles in that specific ratio. So I'll do transform scale. And instead of 161.8%, since I'm trying to go smaller, I have to do the opposite, which is, I think it's 0 point something else. We gotta double check. Go into Wikipedia. So if you're making it bigger, you make it 1.618 times bigger. But if you're making it smaller, it should be, what I divided by 0.618, I guess. So I guess just 61.8%. And that would do the opposite. And again, with the eyes, gotta bring this here, make it white. Scale it down a little bit like this. Now, even the proportion of the ellipse can be done in the golden ratio. Like if the height of it is this, we can go to object transform scale and just do a non-uniform scale and keep the vertical at 100% and then just make the horizontal 61.8. So now it's a oval that's in the golden ratio. But then again, that's not what they're using for the eyes. Maybe they did for this one. I don't know. I mean, this one, not really. They didn't really use a golden ratio oval for that, so don't need to do that. I'll make this a little bit wider. Duplicate. Move it up a little bit. And it looks about right. And we need to do the cheeks. Flip that over to the other side, over the center of the circle, and select all these. I guess this could be a little bit more squished this way. So let me delete this, and since I'm changing this, I'll have to duplicate it again. Anyways, a little bit more sharp of an angle. Let's do something like that. And okay, that looks better. And I'll flip this over the center of this circle with the reflect tool and alt click. And then let's do the bottom mouth part too. So take one of, I'll just take this circle again, make it, oops, make it white, bring it to the front. Let's put an outline so I can see it better. And this one will be, this one's more, not really an oval, but I'm gonna pull this down a little bit. Slightly different shape, and then put that here. Right, and then select all of these. Select all these shapes and pretty much combine them together. So I could use the shape builder to just draw over all of these to combine them. Or with them all selected, I could go to Pathfinder and click Unite. And then let's continue. Let's do the nose and the eyes. Let's put a line through the top of that. So we can select that and the line, shape builder, delete the bottom, and delete that line. Oops. Also delete this line. So I gotta select it with the direct selection tool. Just click on it once and press delete. The eyes are ovals again. About like to the middle of the bigger circle. So somewhere like there. Something like that. Copy it over. Actually, before we copy it, let's put a triangle in it. So there is a triangle cut in that eye. I'm going to press down with the polygon tool till I get a triangle. And I was holding shift so it stays straight. Again, don't forget to hold shift. And then scale it down that way and rotate it holding shift. So it's on the side. And let's put that through like that. Select both. Use the shape builder. Delete that part. And then we could fill this with black. Copy it over. Select eyes and that nose curve, and then shape builder to delete the bottom there. Um, Actually, I think these are supposed to be a little bit narrower like this. And just so they're centered, I'm going to group them together. Make sure this is right in the middle of this circle. And it was pretty close. Yeah. Then we should also, I'm going to make sure everything is centered actually. I'm just going to select all of these. Click the center button. And let's use this shape builder to cut that again. And then the mouth. And again, it's not really an oval. This is more slightly different shape. So probably something like if I pull that down, make that wider. Something like that. And the top part though is a circle, so take that, take another circle, put it here, make it bigger. And that looks about right. So select these two. Oops, not that one. This one and this one. And with those two selected, we gotta cut the top. Actually, we need to keep some of this circle so we could do these lines right here. So instead of just cutting that whole thing, I'm gonna draw a line like about maybe this high. Okay, and then with all those pieces selected, shape builder, and let's delete that part for sure. We don't need this line, we don't need this line. Wait, yeah, I think I got the right one. And then delete that. And delete this. Okay. And I think I should make it a little bit shorter, so draw another line right here. Select this and that line and delete. And again, a little curve for this, or I'll just draw a circle and delete parts of the circle. So I'm left with this. And let's flip that over to the other side. And now we gotta do the tongue. So Guess I'll grab a couple circles like this. And transform, reflect, copy. Merge those together. And then select the mouth and then alt click to get rid of the bottom part. Make that red. And I'll use the live paint bucket again to make this one, I guess, a darker red. Or I can make it black. I don't know why it's red here, but I'll do it the same as this. I'll make it a dark red. So I'll select HSB. I guess I can't pick a swatch right now. Why doesn't it let me? I'll double click here and pick it from here. And then click in there. Looks like it's covering the tongue, so send it backwards. Okay, that's pretty much done. And then you could add your like final touches to this if you want, like add that little shiny bit over there. I guess easiest way to do that is just draw a little line like this, slightly curved. Make that white. Go to the stroke panel, give it rounded caps, and make it thicker. And scale it down a little bit. And then make this a little bit darker. A little shiny part on the nose. Same way we did the this one. I might as well copy this one right here and rotate it like this. Put it over the nose. A little bit wider. And I want it to be thicker in the middle, so we could probably use that's gonna make it too sharp. I'll use the width tool just to do that a little bit. And make it overall thinner. Oops, wrong tool. And then for all the lines that I have, let's look better if more consistent. This. Oh, I see what's happening here. I want this line to be on top of the tongue, so I'm gonna copy paste it, but with no fill, like that. So it's on top of the tongue, and then this one, I guess at this point, does not need to stroke anymore. And this line, we can make it same thickness as this. Uh-oh. Why is that happening? Let me see how thick this one is. It's 6 points. Make this one 6 points as well. And I'll make this one 6 points as well, but let's change the profile to look like that. And I guess I could do that with these as well. Let me put this more in the middle. Select those two, uniform, change it to width profile 1 over here. I guess I could make it a little bit thinner. Um, there's not much more I can do on that. Except maybe rotate these 45 degrees, squish them 45 degrees, and squish it. Okay, cool. So now we have our um, newer looking Mickey and our old school Mickey. Pretty much the same process to draw them. It's just the mouth and the eyes that are slightly different on these guys. Smaller mouth. Obviously different eyes. But it's pretty much the same. Well, hopefully that gave you guys a good amount of time to try it on your own. Next, we're gonna go on break right now, but when we come back, we'll look at other logos done with not well, this one's not a logo, but we'll look at some logos that are done with the golden ratio, like the Apple logo and stuff. So, and then we'll try to do see what else we could create with just plain circles and the golden ratio. So you can take a break. Does anyone have questions? Actually, questions before we take a break? No questions. Okay. 15 minutes. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. Um, I was just saying I heard a noise like someone sent me a message, but I don't see it. So forgive me if I'm not responding to whatever that message was, because I don't know where it came from. Anyways, um, let's do more golden ratio logos. Let's look at simple example. I think most simple example would be the National Geographic logo. It doesn't get more basic than that. It's just a rectangle. Um, but I believe it is a rectangle that's in the golden ratio. So that means if you have a rectangle like or a square, start off with a square, go to the object transform scale and just scale non-uniform. Doesn't matter which one, horizontal or vertical. Click OK, and that's the ratio that they're using. I kind of did that too fast. I meant to say horizontal 61.8% or 161.8%. Wait, what did I just do? Oh, I fixed it back. So it was a square. I did a transform to 61.8% for just the horizontal. Or you can make a square and scale it 161.8%. Should give you the same shape. Let me scale this to that one size, holding shift. And you can see it's the same shape. So either 161.8% or 61.8% for the length or the width to get it in that correct ratio. Or you could make a rectangle that's, let's say, 80 width by 130 height, but it's not going to be as close to the actual ratio of 161.8 or 161.8. Golden ratio 1.618. Okay, that ratio. But yeah, if you look at their logo, it is using that shape. Let me make this a different color so we could see it better. Maybe not like exactly. Actually, no, it is pretty exactly. So that inner rectangle that they have on National Geographic is using that same ratio that I just showed you. And they just put an outline on it. I don't know if they used any golden ratio rules on the thickness of the line or if they just chose a random thickness. Actually, let's make sure this is aligned to the outside. Yeah, draw a rectangle and increase the height by 161.8%, and you'll have the National Geographic logo. Okay, so that's the most simple example of someone using the golden ratio. Let's look at more. Apple, for example. This one's a little bit more difficult to figure out just because there's so many different circles in the logo. Oh, here's proof that Apple's logo is not based on golden ratio. Okay, there's an article arguing that it's not based on golden ratio. So maybe it's not, but it is using circles, that's for sure. Alright, so we've got circle for the two bottom parts of the apple. that have a stroke so we can see it. Is this supposed to be the proportions? Yeah, so I guess well, here they give us the proportions that we need. So let's start by making our smallest circle. Let's say this one would be the smallest. It's got a 1 on it. The next size, I guess, is that same circle scaled, what, 200%? Wait, that was non-uniform. Make sure I do a uniform scale of 200%. Is that correct? No, it looks bigger than this one. Anyways, let's just continue using this scale. I'm gonna just make these solid. So we got 1, we got 2. 2 seems to be a little too big here, not 200%. But let me do now number 3. I'll scale the first one 300%. Yeah, that's too big. So it's not exactly 1 and then this one's twice as big and this one's 3 times as big. It's a little bit different. These are a little bit smaller. Then we got the 5 times as big. Scale that 500%. And yeah, you can see that's way too big. So I shouldn't be actually making it. I don't know why they put those numbers on there. It's confusing. So it's not actually that big. So this is more that size. This is more this size. This is closer to that size, which is how much smaller is that transform scale? Not 90%. Let's turn on preview. Closer to like 85%. Yeah, it's like 85%. Meaning if I'm gonna make this 8 times or make it that size, it's not exactly 8 times. It should be how do I figure this out? 85 times 8, so 680%. Yeah, that looks right. And now we need one more big one. Actually, we need this 80% one, or 680%. Second largest circle. There's a couple of those here for the leaf for the apple or stem. But it's a leaf, right? So that one would be created using 2 of those and shape building that. But let's keep that there. And we need one for the bite out of the apple. So we need 4 of these, it looks like. We need one that's 13, or seems to be 85% times 13. So 5 times 13. So 1105. So scale this 1105%. That's our largest circle. So the Apple logo is made out of all of these circles. And I don't know what that article was saying, but it looks like it is using the golden ratio, kind of. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna use these circles to draw the Apple logo. I mean, we could find out if these circles are in the golden ratio by taking this one and saying object transform scale 161.8%. Wait, object transform scale 161.8, copy. And then taking that one, scaling it 161.8, copying it. Well, I guess it is. So I don't know what that article was saying. It's clearly using the golden ratio right here. I didn't have to do 85%. I could have done scaling it by 161.8%. Yeah. So clearly Apple is using the golden ratio because you can see these circles being used here. So the one that's what, number 5 here, we got 2 of those and the space between them is the 1. And then we've got well, this is kind of harder to figure out, like exactly how far do they put this number 3 size. Wait, that's number 2. Number 3 size, it goes here, but exactly how far? I don't know how they figured that one out. I guess it's just random. And then this one would go here on top of that. Let's go into outline view, make sure this is lined up nicely. We got this one here moved. It's not even 45 degrees though. It's more, it's a little less than 45 degrees this way. Like 40 degrees moved up this way. And the other one, exactly how far it intersects, I don't know. But that's supposed to make up the leaf of the apple right there somewhere. Anyways, like the angles I'm putting them on are not exactly the same, so kind of hard to figure that part out. Let's do the biggest circle here. This one starts, no idea where that one starts. There's another one here they didn't mention. That one is, looks like it's the number 8 size for this part. And then the bigger one goes right on top of that one. Let me change these to stroke instead of fill. Okay. So what needs to change? Put the big bite out of the apple, which is uh, this size. Somewhere here. It's not exactly that easy to figure out. Like there's circles in there definitely, but you can't just draw circles and put it together. Like what about this part, that part? I'm just gonna sort of eyeball it and try to get it close as I can. So some of these things definitely should be centered, like these I will group, and these two I will group. So basically, these, make sure they're centered, because that's gonna make up that top part and this part, and then it's pretty straight, so should be centered. Um, then once that's centered, I guess I gotta make sure everything else lines up nicely. So I'll put this right between. This one I think needs to move that. Oh wait, I forgot the number 2 over here. Oh, and this, I have to readjust these. Double click, bring this in one step, bring this in one step. That should be fine. And then number 2 size has to go here. For the space, again, it's not enough to just have the size of the circle. You actually also have to know where to put it. I don't know exactly how they figured that out with the golden ratio here. Let's start from here somewhere, the spiral. I don't know how that helps, but let's just eyeball it. So this one will go here. This is the bite that's gonna be in the apple. Let's make these all black. This will also be black. And then we'll have to fill in the gaps after. This one I'm really having a hard time with. I don't know how to place this circle here. Like it needs to be lower. Why don't I just check the actual angle right here? So what is this angle? If we check with the rotate tool and I click right here and I rotate this like to the center of this one, looks like it's so that's negative like 55 degrees. 50 negative 56. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna um take these just like this. Make sure it's connected. And bring that up here. Now we know where this one's supposed to be. Right there. And then this one. Now we can put this like here. And eyeball that one, so it's like that. And then let's form this shape here in the middle. Then we just have to like create a curve connecting all of this. Wonder, so at that point, I don't know if we could use a circle anymore. I don't think this spiral really helps either, so I'll just have to use the pen tool and like, just draw a curve here, connecting this. Make sure it extends to include that number 3 over there. Something like that, and then flip this over the center. And it didn't line up as nicely as I expected. Probably because I don't have everything centered. Let me make sure it's all centered. So this should be centered. And then what else? Make sure that's there. Double click this, make sure it's here. To make slight adjustments since I moved a couple things. Let's delete this one for now. And again, make sure this, these, this are centered. Okay, now I'll grab this and make sure this is lined up correctly. Like that, and there. And here. Flip it over the center. Okay, now it lines up better on the other side. Not like perfect, but pretty close. I'll just slightly modify it. I'm not sure why it's not perfect. Is it because these are not lined up? Oh yeah, these are not lined up on the bottom. Oops. How about these? Those weren't lined up either. Anyways, there's no easy formula for the Apple logo. Of course, this would be easier if I just took the Apple logo and tried to draw it with the pen tool. But I'm trying to make sense of how they determined all the different ratios for everything using the golden ratio. But the sizes are there, but positioning them, you kind of have to just guess it. I don't know if they used a formula for that. It was just some graphic designer, so I doubt they put like any extra thought into it that we're not seeing. It's probably just randomly positioned. So now I'm just trying to randomly position it the same way they did. That's why it's difficult. So I'm gonna reflect this again, copy. This time it's looking it lines up a lot closer. And I guess we could just start using the shape builder to put it together now. So if I select all of this, we need to use the shape builder to, well, before I do that, I'm gonna copy this over here. Keep that on the side. And let's see how close we got it if we combine this. Okay, some parts are not combining because I guess it's not intersecting. Right there is a tiny gap. And then, so I left out one of these circles up here that needs to create that curve. I'll go in and add that in right now. So I can already tell it's not exactly the same. I feel like I didn't put the top circle far out enough, or I didn't make this curve the right way. Because again, I had to eyeball that curve, so let's try to fix it. Sheesh. Okay, that was close, but no cigar. And I don't even know like where to put this one. And when you're having like stuff that's not exactly intersecting, there's like a little tiny gap right there. I think if you double click, yeah, if you do a double click on um the shape builder, there's gap detection. Say gap length small, and then even though there's a tiny gap there, it will still like still work. It'll just ignore that gap or connect it for you. But then you're gonna end up with a lot of like an extra messy, like here this part too. We have a slight gap right here, but I turned on gap detection, so it kind of fills it in for me. But again, we're left with a lot of extra points all over this thing. It's not that pretty. But I can go in and manually try to fix some of these. Get rid of these extra points here and use the anchor points and the handles here to make it smoother looking. Wait, what happened to my bite? That should have been here somewhere. It's about somewhere there. Anyways. Okay, that was way too much work. But they do, it seems, they do use golden ratio, or like they kind of forced it. I don't think all that was necessary. We're just taking some circles. And we could use like the free transform tool or the perspective distort and just make the bottom smaller than the top like this. And then grab a couple of other circles. Put this between these two. I mean, it's not gonna look like the Apple logo because I'm not, I'm just doing it quickly. But just to like give you an idea of how you could draw an apple a little bit more simply, do something like this. And I'll try to line up these as close as I can just so I don't end up with messy points at the end. But connecting two circles like this is gonna be really hard, so you have to zoom in like way, way in. Look at that gap like from really close to make sure it connects. So yeah, things like this, the smart guides don't really help you with aligning. They're more helpful with points, not so much with curves. So I have to zoom in way close. But yeah, I could take this, combine that, cut that out, and we kind of have an apple shape. And then for the leaf, okay, sure, we'll take two of these. Make it slightly bigger and move that like that. Put that there. Oops, there's two of them. And I guess we could modify this with the free transform. Let's pull this down a little. Anyways, okay, so you could do Apple type logo, and this kind of looks like the older Apple logo. I think they did change it slightly. Look at old Apple logo. It wasn't always the same. It was a slightly different shape. I guess it is the same shape. The shape hasn't changed. Just the colors. I mean, this was obviously way different, but anyways. Um. Anyways, we went from like a really easy one to do, National Geographic, to Really difficult one. I'm not sure who else uses golden ratio in their logos. We could Google it. Golden ratio in logos. Twitter's, I guess, is pretty easy to do. Oh, BP, I guess, uses it too. So BP's logo. What is this? Where did it go? Yeah, BP. So they've got like this flower or something, sun, and it uses concentric circles in the golden ratio. And then Twitter again uses a bunch of circles to create the bird. If you looked at the Twitter logo, you obviously you could tell just by looking at it that it was made with circles. I guess there's National Geographic, there's Pepsi. Pepsi somehow uses it. Chevron, Toyota, and it's this one mentions Apple. I guess they use it in their the iCloud. That's was the cloud logo. So if you're gonna draw a cloud, this one's really easy too. You could take a couple circles, make one circle bigger than the other, and then something like that, right? So just a bunch of circles, combine them together, and flatten the bottom. You have a cloud. That's pretty much the iCloud logo. And I bet you it's using the golden ratio. So that means if we start with one circle, that's the size of this smaller circle. Make it exactly the same size. So if we have that circle and that's what we're starting with, that means the next biggest one, this one, should be, if I transform it by 161.8%. Wait, no, that's actually not. That is not using the golden ratio. It supposedly is, but I don't see it. Doesn't look like it's actually using it. Was I looking at the wrong logo? Or maybe it's not exactly golden ratio and um I mean this circle looks a lot bigger compared to this one than this one. So maybe we're not looking at the right version of the iCloud. Because this one was clearly not golden ratio. Not even close. This one, this one's a little closer. So I guess this is just like a different version someone did, and it's not exactly the same. So I should look for better iCloud. Yeah, because I am searching on Google, so anyone could have made this. It's like really easy to make. So maybe I made it, uploaded it. It's not exactly the right logo. Um, well, I guess the best place to get it from would be from the actual website. Okay, it's a very small image, but let me see if this one is closer to the correct ratio. It's really tiny though. It's gonna be hard to do it with that. Don't they have a bigger version? Anyways, who cares? Let's just make our own. So I'm gonna make a circle, and I'm gonna transform it by 161.8% and copy it. Let me make sure we could see these. I'm gonna do the same with the other circle. And how many different sizes do we have? We have one, two, three. I guess it's just the three different sizes. So we could start with the smaller one on this edge, and then the bigger one next to it, and then the bigger one next to that, and then the smaller one here. Is that exactly? No, okay, sorry. The second largest ones are on the side. The smallest one is right there. So it's more like that. And then you can combine these with the shape builder, delete the bottom, flatten it, and you have your basic iCloud logo. Okay. And Twitter's will be fun to do because the bird. I've tried doing bird logos with the golden ratio before. Let's copy this real quick. Paste it here. So let's start with a smaller circle for the bottom feather. And I guess they use the same size circles for each of the feathers. Just slightly offset a little bit to the left. And then one for the head, same size. And then for the overall body, let's see how much bigger that is. If I do 161.8, it's not quite big enough. Um, wait, let's let's start by shrinking this all down to this correct size so we could compare it more accurately. Okay, so yeah, this one is not big as the biggest one, but it's the size of this one, which I get. What are they using that for? I don't know what they're using it for. Just the middle of the mouth is there? I don't know. Um, but if I take this and scale it again by 161.8, now we have that biggest size. So the main bird is using that bigger size, and then you've got these smaller circles for the wings. and one for the head. The head seems to not fit exactly, so it looks like the head is not exactly in the golden ratio, but let's just make it the same size so it is in the golden ratio. I'll put it there. And then we've got another circle here. Let's shrink this slightly. So this one, I don't know, is it this size? Looks like it's the same as the large size for that part of the bird. And then for the tops of the feathers, it's gonna be, I mean, it's gonna have to be a pretty big circle to make that. So it's probably the biggest size here. Another one for that part, another one for that part. And then also for the mouth, like right there, and right there, and right there. It's getting really messy. So why don't we do pieces, just do piece by piece. So I think using, let's do the main part first. So let's take these wings away for a second. And let's do the main body of the bird, the head and the main body. Let's just, even though this is not exactly the right size, I'm just gonna ignore that they didn't do it the right size, and I'll do it the right size. So basically we need this shape to start with the head. Actually, I'm gonna try that again because I don't like that I ended up with all these extra messy points right here. So let me undo that. Make sure these are lined up exactly. So let me go outline view. It's pretty close, but let me select these two and click align to the right. Because I don't want to end up with those extra points. Oops, don't delete that one. So that stays, the rest of it can go. Okay, it's not as messy. I still have unnecessary points right here, but it's the best I can do here. And there's also one like extra line segment. Let's delete that one. I'll put this back. So now that we did that part, let's do the wings. So take a circle there. Oops. Another circle here. Another circle there. Yeah, at this point, I don't know, seeing all these companies using the golden ratio makes it seem so overused. Like it's almost getting cheesy now. But there's still like there is science to it, so it's not a bad idea to use it. Make this circle the right size again. Actually, why am I doing that? Just take this object, transform, scale, object transform, scale. 161.8 and should be the correct size. So I needed one of these larger circles for the tops of the wings. So I need it here, there, and there. Alright, so I'm gonna leave out the shapes that I don't need for this, just to make this look less messy. So I really just need these three large circles, and I need the wing pieces. Looks like I'm missing one circle here. So I need this circle, I need this circle, I need this circle, and I need this larger circle, and this larger circle. So if I take all these circles, we should be able to see the wing shapes in here. You can see that one is here. Am I looking at the right ones? Bring that back for a second. Yeah, so starting with the bottom one, there's one wing right there. Oops. One of the wings is here. And the other wing is there. And the other wing is here. So basically these, let me combine them. Yeah, let's combine them together. And delete the rest of the stuff we don't need. We just need this part here. There's some leftover junk here. I'm gonna go into outline view, select all that, and delete unnecessary points. Make that handle disappear by making it like that. Actually, let's just pull it in so we don't mess up the other side. Even this point is unnecessary. Even this point is unnecessary. So we could get rid of those 2 points. But it's gonna mess the shape up a little, so you're gonna have to like try to fix that curve again. So if it's not a big deal to leave those extra points. Oops. So we got the wing in place, we got the body in place using golden ratio. Now we just need the beak, which is the medium size circle. Wait, is that? No, that's the small size. It's the small size circle. Not exactly though. This one like looks like a straight line. So it's that one and then the larger size. So object transform scale 161.8. Let me keep that in case I need it. And object transform scale 161.8. This larger size for the top of the beak. I guess I'll use it for this bottom since it looks like a straight line. So I need this circle, this circle, this circle, and this circle. And I guess this circle. I'll leave this circle out of it for now because I think I could. I just need the. Basically, I just need this, and and then the rest of it is junk. So I just need that little bit there. This can go away. That can go away. And I'll just use the eraser and erase all of that. And then just make it all that blue color. There's your Twitter logo. Except mine is more in the golden ratio than this one. They made the head slightly smaller for some reason. I don't know why they didn't feel the need to keep it consistent since they were using the golden ratio for everything. I don't know why they didn't continue using it for the head. Like even this picture trying to explain it, it's like obviously they didn't use it. The circle is bigger than the head. Okay, so I'm trying hard to avoid giving you a new assignment, but we talked a lot about circles. So, and a lot about golden ratio. So, I'll give you an assignment, but it should be pretty simple, I think. So, you can spend more time maybe doing your character maybe, but also try to come up with a simple logo using the golden ratio. It could be very, very simple as this. Let's make this 161.8%. Oops. Object transform scale, copy. Object transform scale, copy. For example, here's my logo using the golden ratio. Let's make these lines thicker. I'll put a white fill on that one and make this on top of that one. Okay, that looks a little better. Snowman. Just come up with some like very simple logo that uses the golden ratio or circles or both. Okay. Snowman. What kind of company would be named Snowman? Someone that sells baby powder? I don't know. Let's just put something random like Snowman Communications. Make that a lot smaller. Let's increase this to like 400. make it all capital. Let's make this all capital too. And just throw in some like little detail to make the logo feel a little bit more complete. Like I have no idea what that would add to this. There. Simple as that. Uses the golden ratio and it looks like a professional logo. Let's come up with something a little bit more creative. What could we do? How about like a um what else can we do with these circles? There's already too many of these logos, right? So let's scale them already. Let's already have them in the correct ratio. Scale by 161.8%. Maybe have three of them. And then I don't know, what could we come up with? How about those like old school bicycles? A vintage bicycle. Talking about these guys over here. Um, just make a logo for that one. Where's the circle center? Right there. I hate when it doesn't like let you find the center of the circle. Like, why isn't it? Should be coming up with the smart guide showing me where the center is, but it's not unless I select it. Then it shows me, but whatever. We'll do it that way. This will be the spokes of the bicycle. We'll just rotate this. I don't know, 20 degrees. Or I'll leave that to the end. I'll add that because it's like a smaller detail. I don't know how good it's gonna look, so I'll add that after I do the other stuff. So let's do this first. But again, I need to find the center of the circle, which is right there. And actually, this could, yeah, well, it's gonna have to be a straight line, but um, could also be another circle. I don't know if that's gonna be too big for what we need it for. Might be too big. I'm trying to use it for this part right here, but I think it'll be too big. You're supposed to sit on that somewhere, right? And it's gonna be way too high, so it's gonna look weird. But I'll just make that the one exception that's not using the golden ratio right there. Make it that size. Or maybe we could just put it down. Still use the golden ratio. Just bring it down a little. We don't need this part for sure. We don't need this part. We probably don't need that part either. We just need that. Something here. Yeah, delete that. Okay, so we just need that, and then maybe a line coming down from that. Wait a minute, what's going on here? That's extra. Need this to start here, go straight down. Okay, and then this needs to go to the center of this. And I need to find the center of this circle. I think it's there though. Looks like it's lined up where it needs to be, so I'll leave that there. Again, this is now in the golden ratio. What else do we need to add to this? It needs the steering wheel, so we need a line that's in the center of this circle. Right here. Straight up. Make it the same thickness. Actually, let's make these all the same thickness, like 10. Or 15. Up here is the handle, so I don't know. Do something like this for the handle. Oh, why is there snapping to a grid right now? Snap to grid is turned on. I should turn that off. Okay. And connect that. Maybe bring it down a little. Maybe straighten it. I don't know. I think I like it better this way. And then a little light at the tip, and even that, since I'm going to be putting a circle in there somewhere, I'm going to take this circle, and just to be cheesy, let's make this 61.8%. And then that will be the headlight. At least it'll be that height. It's not really a circle, is it? Do something like that. Delete this part and flatten this part. kind of too big. So I'll scale it down. Actually, it looks better if it sticks out a little bit. Okay, now we could add the details of the spokes. Instead of doing half, I just go all the way and just rotate that like 30 degrees. Just make sure it's a multiple of 360 or yeah, something that you could multiply to 360 degrees. That way it goes around nicely and doesn't have like weird overlapping. I'm gonna make it a little bit more thinner, and then I'll make it thinner and rotate it by less. Let's do transform, rotate. Let's do 10. Actually, that's gonna be too little. We'll do 15 degrees. Copy. I feel like it'll look better with more. And then I'll make them thinner as well. And then copy that to the small wheel. Make sure it's still the same thickness. Actually, for this one, I guess we don't need as many. I'll delete every other one. And while we rotate it so that lines up that way. This can be 15. Everything 15 except for the wheels. And then there's supposed to be like a little seat somewhere on top of it. So we add the little seat. Which stretches to there. I don't know how to do the seat so it looks nice. But put a little like tiny seat here. Something here so it looks like there's a place to sit. There we go. And now are these lined up correctly? not exactly. Let me make sure they are. So select this, group it together, make sure it's lined up with the bottom of the other one, like that. And bicycle films or something. Bicycle films, and let's make the text closer together. Find a font that matches. I spelled bicycle right? I think I did. Nah, you should probably go for like a vintage type font for something like this, or just something that matches the style of the logo. But this one might work. Or let me see if I have some nice vintage looking fonts. It's a problem when you download too many fonts and you have too many choices. There's just more junk to filter through and just harder to find the font that you like. I wish there was a way to organize these so I could put like all my vintage looking fonts together. And there are ways, I never got into it. I'm sure there's ways to organize your fonts, but I don't know if you can access them organized through Illustrator though. Just so it matches the length of the other one. Bicycle Studios. Or like that. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like just putting a little line here makes it look a little bit better. Bicycle Studios, Snowman Communications. See what you guys can come up with. But um again, like I'm sorry, but I have to give you an assignment. I know it's sixth assignment already, but if I don't, then you're not gonna get to apply the lesson that I covered today, which is golden ratio and circles and simplicity. And I think we could bring that lesson to an end. Does anyone have questions? Questions? No questions? Emilio, why'd you say no sound? That was way earlier though. Hopefully there's sound now, right? Sure you guys can hear me now because my name is lighting up in Discord. Um, yeah, that's all I have for today. Great. So tomorrow and Thursday will be lab day. You guys will have plenty of time to work on these. Thank you. So let me stop recording and get you the sign out code.